Morning is day 40 on the PCT. It's about 8:15, so I slept in after doing a 30-mile day yesterday, 31 mile plus. Came into camp late. There was about maybe 10 tents here by the river. Warm Springs River is called. So I didn't film last night, but I night hiked in, found a tent spot. I think most of those tents have probably left. I heard some of them leaving, but I haven't been outside yet today. I'm going to get up, try to get on the trail by about 9 o'clock or so. Here's a look at the camp spot that I found. So that was my tent site, kind of in the back. So all of these spaces, you see these cross logs, these fallen trees. And then the trail's there, and then on the other side of the trail there are a bunch more. So there are probably maybe 6 or 7 on this side, 3 or 4 on that side. So easily 10 tents were here, and then I think there's tenting on the other side of the creek as well, of the river. Haven't gone over there yet. So, and they're all gone. So that tells me that they're probably not day hikers or weekenders. It's not even the weekend. I think it's Thursday. So these were almost certainly all or mostly northbound through hikers, which means with this many tents, I might be at the beginning of the northbound bubble, the SOBO bubble, meaning the congregation of large numbers of hikers. They tend to clump up together, partly because of pace, largely because of skipping fires and so forth. And they're getting close to Cascade Locks, where PCT days is scheduled to happen in about a week and a half. So I think the next day or two I'll be running into a lot of northbounders. Might have a hard time tenting. I'm going to aim for the Olallie Lake Resort, where I think they have lots of tenting. And then after that there's a big burn scar, so I don't know. So tenting might be an issue for the next night or two, which might mean a lot of night hiking.
The good news is, even on the uphills like now, I've been consistently at 3 miles per hour, which is fast for me. Well, one of my philosophies as I've developed on the trail is that this week is training for next week. So I want constant improvement in terms of how many miles I can cover, how comfortably I can do it, how I can recover, and so forth. And the point of that is to finish the trail in a decent amount of time, because I know the longer I'm on trail, the more likely it is that I'll have to get off for some reason. You know, a time may run out of time, might run out of money, might get injured, might be more fires, all sorts of things could happen. Might be an emergency at home that I have to come back to. Pass through a bunch of huckleberries. That's always a temptation. You know, I did a 30-mile hike yesterday, and people will tell you, people with more experience than me, will say the secret to doing your first 30-mile hike in a day is to hike faster. And other people will say, no, the secret is to hike longer, more hours. What I found yesterday is that the real secret to hiking your first 30-mile day is learning to pick huckleberries without stopping. If you're going to make big miles, you gotta make sure that your rest breaks, which you're going to have to take, because you can't sustain 17 miles without stopping, probably, unless you're a ultra marathon or something. You trained yourself up to it. Generally, some kind of rest, even a short rest every hour, 2 hours would be a good idea, even when pushing for big miles. But when you're resting, it's not 100% rest. It's active rest and recovering. So the active part is, maybe you're sitting down on a rock or something, but you're sipping water, or you're eating a snack, or you're putting on bug spray, or in my case, this last break, putting on sunscreen. Well, a lot of my short breaks, I don't sit down. And if you sit down for too long, your legs start to get stiff. So even like a 15-20 minute lunch break, you know, you've been sitting for 20 minutes, blood's starting to pool, you know, your body thinks maybe you're done for the day, but you're not. And so sometimes just standing after sitting for a longish lunch, and for me 20 minutes is a long lunch, you know, it's hard to get started again. You know, theoretically, if I'm doing 3 miles an hour for 15 hours, I could do 45. I'm not there yet. But that's why I'm thinking when I say this week is training for next week, or, you know, today is training for tomorrow, that sort of thing. You know, always trying to improve, because I'm going to be on this trail for potentially another 2 months or something like that, maybe more. And hopefully I will be fitter at the end of it than I am now. So far, so good in terms of increasing my fitness. And I can tell that mostly in terms of how I'm feeling and how many miles I'm doing in how many hours. Okay, just had lunch. Here's the meadow. That was my lunch spot. We had shade a few minutes ago, but the shadows are moving fast. This is Jude Lake. We've got a caution burned area sign with potential hazards. This is from the Lionshead Fire. Olallie Lake, 3 miles. Sounds good. Olallie Meadow, not going there. Going this way. It says, Smokey's 5 rules, only you can prevent wildfire. Always be careful with fire, never play with matches and lighters, never leave a campfire unattended, always make sure your campfire is dead out. Thank you, Smokey. He's got the shovel, he's got the hat, he's got the stare. He's serious. Smokey means business. Entering Mount Hood National Forest and going northbound. Watch out for bears. Especially Smokey the bear, because I just saw him. He's the only bear I've seen. So as I approach Olallie Lake, I'm getting into the burn scar from the Lionshead Fire. This was a closure I had to skip in 2021. And seeing all these dead trees sort of reminds you of mortality, I guess. At least that's the mood that strikes me. I got some bad news in Cascade Locks, and I haven't talked about it. But phoned my mom when I was there, and she gave me the news that my brother-in-law, Randy Gilpin, passed away while I was on the trail. Now, I wasn't that close with Randy, but I liked him. I saw him every couple of years. Always heard news from him. My mom remarried when I was an adult, and it was her new husband, Harry, my stepfather. It was his oldest son, I think, and I went to Randy's wedding when I had just met him, shortly after my mom married Harry. Anyway, so Randy was a good guy. I liked him a lot. Didn't know him particularly well. Saw him every couple of years. We were friends on Facebook and so forth. And we were both adults when we met through our parents. And Randy was a bit of an outdoorsman, one of the things I liked about him. One of the many things I liked about him. And He died in a fishing accident. So I guess he died doing what he loved. And so just thinking about Randy today as I'm hiking through these dead trees. You know, I don't really process bad news quickly. It takes a while. You know, I compartmentalize things, you know, so I don't really have a lot of things to say other than just thinking of Randy. Rest in peace, brother. And wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. Here you see the fireweed that I talked about in an earlier video. Pioneer species comes back after a burn. So, cycle of life. No swimming in lake. Water use prohibited by state. I think this public drinking water source. Okay, I don't know what the mountain that is. Mount Thielsen maybe? No, that's gotta be Jefferson, the Mount Jefferson, that's what that is. I've seen elk, squirrel, bear for certain. I don't think I've seen bison. Might have seen cougar, not sure. This information open, this must be it. Lounge chairs. I don't see a lot of people here other than a couple of families. There we go. Okay, Canada, 607 miles. So I've gone 607 miles, plus about 30, I guess. A little over 2,000 miles to go. Yeah, that's nothing. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna stay at Olallie Lake after all. Got a little tent spot in the corner there. There's a picnic table there. A lot of hikers around, so people are divvying up the spots. I think I was the first one here. Got here at 5:30. Store closes 7:30, so that was good. I already had food, and gonna try to get to bed early and get up early and try to do as much of this burn area as I can before it gets too hot during the day.